Hello, everybody. I'm Gerald. I'm a software engineer at Liberty IT.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ian, and I'm also a software engineer at Liberty IT. So, Gerald, tell me, how did you get started here at LIT?
So I started in LIT as a scholarship software engineer in 2019, and I done my 14-month placement in 2017 and 2018, and I am now a software engineer. I started back as a graduate in 2020, and for the last year, I've been working completely remote. Ian, do you want to tell me a bit about your experience?
Yeah, sure. So, in the third year of college, I came here as an intern. I was only originally supposed to be here for about 6 months, and I stayed for 8 months. I decided to work through the summer. Then I went back to college, and rather than having to go through the hellish grind that is the interview scene, I decided I'd come straight back here. I came back here then as a graduate, kind of July of last year, and I've been here since. So it's coming up on about 15 months. Yeah, loving every bit of it. What do you do? What's your day-to-day job here? And
So my day-to-day job is building home insurance products for our partner company, Liberty Mutual Insurance. They're one of the biggest insurance companies in the United States. It's a really great experience, and it's definitely a lot more interesting than I initially thought. You get to work with a lot of great people and a lot of great technologies. My main focus is Amazon Web Services, using JavaScript and TypeScript to build upon that. What about you, Ian? What do you work on in your day-to-day job?
yeah, so when I first started here, I worked on a team that built an eventing framework, and that saved the company about 500,000 annually. So since then, we've moved to become another team that focuses more on patterns. So we kind of draw reusable chunks of code out of other implementations and kind of promote them to be used and to help teams get spun up a whole lot quicker in the space that we're in. So yeah, it's challenging, but much like yourself, we're working with cutting edge technology, and there's a lot of AWS and serverless there. So yeah, it's rewarding too. I mean, how do you find the contrast between now being a graduate and being a software engineer to how it was when you were in college and you were hacking together your assignments?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. It's definitely like a great experience. I've learned a lot in my time in Liberty, and I can sort of attribute that to like all the great training opportunities they presented to me. So all of our interns go on a 5-week training program run by Install Software, in which they will basically teach you how to build using the tools that our teams use. Because a lot of that stuff you won't learn at university. So it's not that if you think that you're unfamiliar with the things that we've just spoke about, you won't be by the time you're done that. So Ian, how is your experience? How do you find it different from like college or university to work?
Yeah, it's definitely very different to college and university. There's an added level of responsibility. But yeah, I had almost completely forgot about that grad academy. But that was great. I remember we went to Belfast for 5 weeks, and we stayed in a hotel, and every day we were doing those lectures or classes with Instill, and it was great. Yeah, I think we built something for the clubs and societies committee. Now ours wasn't selected. I think somebody else won the competition, but it was still a good experience, a bit of fun. But yeah, no, it's definitely a lot. It's more challenging writing enterprise level software, but it's also more rewarding. And you can have the crack too. Like you're not heads down trying to achieve grades and stuff. So you're able to have a bit of fun with the people you work with as well. Have you any examples of moments where you were challenged, or moments where you really enjoyed the work that you're doing?
I really enjoyed like the work that I was doing. So I used to work before my current team. I worked on a team similar to yourself, building like enterprise patterns, and we like help teams get started to build on AWS faster. And so as a result of that, I was recognized by AWS, and I was accepted to join the AWS Community Builders program. Now, the AWS Community Builders program is for people who are passionate about building on AWS. I'm in the Dev Tools category, which is basically things that help developers build on AWS, which is what I was doing at my day job. And as a result of that, I get like exclusive access to new AWS services. I get like I can get in contact with like the AWS development teams to get support on issues. And I get like AWS credits to like experiment and write blogs and stuff. And that's sort of an opportunity that I was presented through LIT. I'm really proud of it, and it's sort of a challenge that I set myself. We have 5 community builders in LIT, which is the most out of any company worldwide. It really showcases like how much of a cloud leader we are, and how we're like leading that, and we're sharing our knowledge, inside the company by like enabling developers in Liberty Mutual, and outside the company by like speaking at conferences and stuff. And I've had the opportunity to do that recently with another colleague who is also a community builder, which is really good. So Ian, do you have like an example of a time where you were challenged in your role?
Yeah. So when I first came back as a graduate, I jumped back in with the same team that I'd been with as an intern. But the work that they were working on had progressed massively since I was here last. And obviously I suffered a bit from imposter syndrome, and I was so nervous, and I don't know if I'm cut out for this. So that was it was a bit of a challenge to get over that mental hurdle at the beginning. But once I got up to speed, then it was great. Yeah. I suppose if you could go back now and give yourself some advice as an intern, what would you give yourself?
I think when I started my internship, I really struggled to like grasp all the different technologies that my team was using. And if I could go back and give myself advice, I'd say just give it time, get out there, get hands on with stuff, and get learning. I recently went back to Ulster University and gave a talk to first year computer science students about tips that I had had for new programmers, and most of them weren't technology related. It wasn't to go and learn this technology. Most of them were like build your soft skills as well. Like we work with colleagues from all over the world, and it's really important that you can build those like customer relationships. At Liberty IT, we're looking for people who are just as passionate about people as technology. It is about building relationships, building technology. You'll spend a lot of time, not a lot of time in meetings, but you will spend some time in meetings, talking with business stakeholders and working across, across oceans and time zones. So you need to be like a really good communicator, and that's something that I've really worked on and developed over my years working at LIT for most of our like placement students, like yourself, Ian. Like I think most people that do a placement at LIT come back as a graduate, which really says a lot about how we're a great place to work and a great place to start your career as a junior engineer.
Yeah. I think the one thing that really stood out for me as an intern was the company culture. So obviously there's the whole fear, especially when you come in as an intern, there's the fear that, you're just going to be the person who goes and gets all the coffee, and it wasn't like that. And from day one, I was just seen as like another member of the team, which is really cool. And more than that as well, like people are friends here. Your colleagues aren't just your work colleagues. You chat about other stuff. You chat about stuff outside work. And you get on. You have a good time. You have a laugh. And yeah, that kind of really resonated with me, because I would imagine there's a lot of places out there where work is just a workplace, but it was nice that it was a bit more than that here. So yeah, that was probably my main reason for coming back.
Yeah, during non-COVID times as well, there was like the social club events, which were always great fun. We had like a weekend away to Letterkenny. It was very memorable on the September of my placement year. And we went, thinking back, we went go-karting, we went to a bunch of places. There was a different event every month, and it's like £3 out of your salary for a great night out. And the night never ended when the event was over. There was always a few people heading to the bar afterwards, so it was always good fun. And as well, like Ian, you were saying, you're an intern, but you're given the same level of respect and courtesy as a full-time employee. Like I was afforded the opportunity to travel out to the States twice in my internship. I was actually asked the third time, but I couldn't go that week. So I went out once to meet my team, and I went out once for a company-wide hackathon in our main office in Boston. And that time I actually got to stay on. Like you were saying, like we're forming friendships here as well. So me and a few people from my area, we all went and stayed in a hostel in Boston for 4 or 5 days afterwards, and had a great time. Went to a Boston Celtics game. Went to A few guys went to a WWE wrestling match, and yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot of
deadly.
great experiences. So, but that obviously isn't going on at the minute with COVID, but I'm looking forward to the resumption of that hopefully soon. So.
Yeah, but I suppose even now in COVID times, there are still things as well. Like I don't know if you know, but there's an online games night, and I think a couple of people from LIT, they meet up maybe one day a week, and they just chill out and play some video games and stuff. So there's still plenty of ways to socialize and make friends. So yeah, no, it is great. It is great in that sense. There's a lot of opportunities for that kind of stuff. So I suppose if we were wrapping it up, your final comment, how would you sum up LIT in 5 words or less?
5 words or less? I don't think I could have 5 words or less, but I can summarize it up. I say it's a great place to work. It's a great place to start your career. It's a great place to get hands on with cutting edge technologies and form real real connections and have a real impact. We're an insurance company, and when you see some of the things, the natural disasters that occur in the United States, we need to be there for our customers. And it might sound a little bit cheesy, but that now that I've transitioned into an insurance, team, it's you really see the impact that you have and the impact that your work has to help people in their time of need. So if you're interested, definitely apply. I can't say enough. I thinking back, over the past couple of years, the amount of support, the amount of opportunities that this job has presented me is crazy. I couldn't name any. I couldn't name any more of them, to be honest. What about yourself, Ian?
Yeah,
How would you summarize it?
yeah, that was a tough challenge. I don't know why I put you on the spot with 5 words or less because now I have to answer that. I suppose I'd just say it's a great place to be. It's a great place to be technically. It's a great place to be socially, professionally. Yeah, it's a great place to be. Um, so yeah, I think thanks for taking the time out to chat, Gerald. It's great to get to know you. And I
Definitely you
suppose
too,
for those of
Ian.
you that
So
are, yeah, and I suppose for those of you that are here and you're watching this in person, we'll speak to you in a few minutes and hopefully get to answer some of your questions.